The Suntrip Sahara race unites engineers and adventurers from around the world to cross the Sahara Desert on self-built, solar-powered bikes, covering a distance of more than 7,000 kilometers as fast as possible.
That's probably the craziest solar bike race out there.
Entirely on their own, they have to defy the forces of nature to push the limits of their inventions and their physical strength. Technical challenges and extreme conditions are trying to stop them. Eighteen teams from 8 countries are all coming to France's third-largest city. They've all brought one-of-a-kind solar-powered bicycles that have taken them months to design and build themselves.
Together with my teammate Jonas, we are both 19 years old, we are the youngest participants in this challenge, and we depend on cooperations with companies to help us build the best bike. We are stoked to ride an AZUB twin tandem recumbent bike, so a bike for 2 riders with 2 seats behind each other, and the long wheelbase enables us to build a large solar roof on top. From putting our own solar panels on the bike and converting it to electric, building own batteries and developing an orientating system to increase our solar power, we did all by ourselves. Caused by delayed shipping time for some parts of the bike, we got the bike ready to roll just in time.
With their self-developed solar bike, they will attempt a 7,500 kilometers endurance race. From the start of the race, every team has to reach 10 checkpoints, bringing them all the way from France to the Sahara Desert. And the challenges every team has to deal with are unpredictable. With the race start set on 12th of April, we have to expect mixed weather, especially in France and Spain, and shocking heat in Morocco. Behind those machines are humans like you and I. They're determined to push the limits of solar bikes and their physical abilities to fight for the podium. A solar bike is an electric bike powered by the rider's legs and by the sun, with a motor to drive them forward and a battery to store energy produced by their solar panels. They will never be plugged in. For all those bikes, efficiency and high-quality components are essential to make it to the finish line as fast as possible and without technical failure. After hundreds of hours invested into the preparation for this challenge, the Suntrip Sahara race is on.
Let's go! Let's go!
In this short documentary, we take you on the solar race adventure of the youngest and most ambitious team. Let's meet the German solar bike team.
I'm Kilian.
And I'm Jonas.
And Suntrip Sahara will be the adventure of our life.
During the race, the participants have fixed riding times. They are allowed to ride their solar bikes from 6:30 in the morning until 8:30 in the evening. Anyone who rides longer will be immediately disqualified. Traveling by bike means having a lot of contact with the locals, even if it is a race and there is no time for tourist activities. Part of the solar bike race is to camp each night where you are at the end of the day. The German team carries a tent and sleeps in various places. A beautiful field in front of a small town seemed to be a good camping spot at first glance, but it might not be as it seems.
Das ist der Horror. Ich hab so gezittert. Mein Herz, ich dachte, es fliegt gleich raus. Wir sind wieder da. Jetzt reicht's.
This night was horrible. Can't imagine people came to our tent asking for drugs they threw stones on us, and they came with tasers, so we were very scared. But I guess we're not doing beach holidays, it's a race, and it's already way too late. It's 6:30, and we have to continue, so let's pack everything.
Due to the extreme weather forecast, the Pyrenees were predicted to be a major challenge for all participants. Despite the bad conditions, they had a smile on their faces and pushed their solar bike a few hundred meters. The first checkpoint is done, but they have no time to lose. With sheeps crossing the road and increasing temperature, it's finally time to show the full potential of their bike.
We are now 8 days in the race and the weather is very mixed. The last few days were quite hard for our legs. When we crossed the Pyrenees, it was raining, it was freezing cold, but now we are finally on our way to Morocco. To our advantage, we have an automatic tilting system that orientates the panel to the sun, and that way we can increase our solar production every day, and we hope to keep up with the others.
Technological advantages play a big role in solar bike racing. But to succeed at the Suntrip race, you also need to be a good navigator. Gambling between riding longer routes or deciding to ride more elevation are daily challenges. The riders are free to plan their own route but have to reach mandatory checkpoints in a given order.
Also mir ist bis jetzt besonders aufgefallen, dass die Leute hier ganz anders auf einen zukommen. Also sobald wir hier zum Beispiel am Supermarkt stehen und uns Essen holen, kommen die direkt, fragen, was es ist, sind super begeistert und extremst höflich auch. Und das ist einfach ein ganz anderes Miteinander, als ich es gewohnt bin. Also da war ich wirklich positiv überrascht.
With the sun in their necks, the German team is on high spirits as they make their way to Portugal.
Make the most of every notion. Soaring like a kite, higher than a mite. Baby, I can see the ocean. Baby, run, run like the river runs. You will become one with the ocean, one.
After 12 days riding from France all the way to Spain and Portugal, they board the ferry to Africa. After cycling 2,800 kilometers through Europe, and with that, a new chapter on the race adventure is about to begin.
I think in Morocco is kind of really the start of the Suntrip.
Leaving the European paradise and entering Africa makes all race participants face new challenges. From green forests to sand dunes in the south, they will experience the full variety of Morocco. The German solar bike team took the ferry boat from Tarifa to Tanger and makes their way now further to the south along the coast. They had sunny days and perfect conditions for recharging their batteries with the onboard solar panels.
Jonas ist da jetzt in so einem Post-Geld-Office und versucht uns Geld zu organisieren.
After they had some money changed, the first real challenge was waiting for them. Seven months after the catastrophic earthquake southwest of Marrakesh, all race participants have to conquer this track on their solar bikes.
About 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers before the mandatory stop, there's a mandatory stop in Taradont. We have the Tizian Test Pass, which is not a very well heard of mountain pass. In Morocco, it's fairly famous, but worldwide, it's not like Alpe d'Huez or something. But it's a big mountain pass.
The first time on this whole trip we thought about giving up because the roads were way too bad. It was horrible to ride, and to make it even more challenging, we got the first flat tire after we've done like 300 meters of elevation. So yeah, luckily we picked up a spare tire in Marrakesh and we were able to fix it at the side of the road and continue climbing up. For me, the most special thing is how people react if they see us the very first time. It's a solar-powered electric bike for two riders. They've never seen something like that before. And it's so nice to see them taking photos and videos of us. And after that, having a chat and talking about our travel together, that makes me so happy, and that's very nice. After 2 days of crossing the earthquake area, we finally made it up to Tizian Test Pass.
Wir sind gerade auf 2070 Höhenmeter über Meeresspiegel. Wir fahren komplett in die Wolken rein, es wird eiskalt.
Wir haben es geschafft, wir sind oben!
But it was so freezing cold that we decided to lose no more time and straight up roll down to Tarodant to get our 24-hour well-needed rest.
We made it to Tarodant. This is my room. Here are my clothes. I washed all of them by hand here in the shower, and now we have the time to check the bike, do some fixes and repair everything for the desert.
Besides making some repairs to their bike, they also had a lot of fun testing some locals' bikes.
Und wie fährt sich's?
Ganz komisch. Ganz komisch, aber geil.
And now off to the dunes. It's finally time for race days through the Sahara Desert. With rising temperatures and decreasing population density, the German solar bike team sets off through the most beautiful landscapes.
Crossing a desert by bike is something completely different and involves a lot of planning and calculating, especially when it comes to water and the whole food situation. There are less stores, there are less options to refill all your bottles, so we had to carry a lot with us, but also don't overload the bike to get the maximum out of it. One big struggle was for sure thinking about technical challenges and problems. What happens if the bike gets stuck, if we have technical breakdowns so we can't continue. We don't want to stand at the side of the road without water or something to eat. That's why we had to calculate everything.
But even they were not untroubled by technical problems, as they had broken spokes in the rear wheel several times and had to make emergency repairs.
Das Hinterrad eiert gottlos, aber wir fahren wieder.
Same as in Europe, the German team camped each night in their tent, which made it hard to get full rest and recovery, especially when people came to their tent at night.
Viele Menschen laufen überall auf den Feldern rum. Es gibt keine Wälder oder keine naturbelassenen Bereiche, in denen man irgendwie zur Ruhe kommen könnte. Also es sind wirklich überall Menschen. Und das war ein bisschen ein Problem, wenn man dann sich natürlich was sucht irgendwie in der Wildnis, dann passiert es halt gleich, dass 2 Leute mit dem Motorrad kommen, dann kommen nochmal 2 andere zu Fuß angelaufen, beobachten einen, da fühlt man sich dann natürlich nicht wirklich sicher.
I think Gillian and Jonas did a lot better than me. They were camping almost every night, which is real Suntrip spirit. I think I used my tent like 3 or 4 times. I was really trying to avoid using the tent because when you're on your own, it's so much wasted time in the day. You have such limited time, and to put the tent up and take the tent down and do all the cooking and everything just takes longer when camping. I would try and just find any accommodation I could, random hostels or auberges or hotels or anything I could find really to avoid camping. Yeah.
But waking up to the first sunlight in the tent was what made the trip so special for the Germans. Plenty of sunshine is great for the solar output of the solar bikes. However, it's not just the sunlight that affects the efficiency of the solar panels. The operating temperature is also crucial. As temperatures rise, the solar yield decreases, and in the desert, daytime temperatures can exceed 50 degrees Celsius. Fortunately, the two are sitting in the shade.
For me, I actually loved riding through the desert. I thought it was really cool. It was like really a cool part about the adventure. The roads are pretty good because it never freezes, so they last forever. But it was definitely hard, long roads and hot weather and long days. But it's just such an epic landscape with the camels and everything else. It's kind of what we all signed up for at the beginning.
With great anticipation, they finally left the barren and monotonous desert after 2,500 kilometers. After 13 days in Morocco, they make their way to Chefchaouen. To keep third place in the race, they will have to maintain their daily average and also go full speed back in Europe.
One of our biggest struggles is for sure strong headwind or side wind. We're currently having like 50 kilometers an hour, and that's already pretty hard to ride stable. We are swerving on the street and we try to somehow continue. Yeah, we're doing our best. Wild camping for more than 1 or 2 days also means we have to wash our clothes somehow, and therefore rivers like those are perfect. The water is so clear, so we can wash our clothes, also wash our body, ourselves, and then we can continue.
Freshly washed, they wanted to continue, but as always, photos have to be taken first.
Está bien bonita, ¿eh?
¿Ah?
Está bien bonita.
Sí.
We made it to the last checkpoint.
And it's basically in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why, but we made it.
After finally ticking off the last checkpoint from the list, they were ready to go home. The further they ride through France, the worse the weather gets. Few hours of sunshine and cold temperatures makes it difficult to cycle more than 200 kilometers a day.
Schöner Schlafplatz, den wir hier gefunden haben.
Ja, ist ganz
Nice,
nice.
Mann. When it comes to positioning the bike in the evening, we always try to make the bike face east, so we have the maximum solar input already when we are sleeping or when we do breakfast, and we don't want to leave the tent. So we checked where's east. East is basically straight there, so we have to turn the bike a little bit and then make it fall over on one side, so it's basically 90 degrees to the sun. That's perfect, and we are ready to set up our tent.
The last day has come, and Jonas and Kilian want to complete the remaining 300 kilometers today. But that will be even harder than expected.
We have 111 kilometers left to go to Chambéry, to the finish line, and well, it started raining. It will be difficult for us, but we will try our best.
After 33 days and 7,508 kilometers on their solar bike,
We made it! We are here in Chambéry.
they crossed the finish line and secure third place in the Suntrip Sahara race.